Skip Bayless, we want to know what happens when Johnny Manziel goes to that next level. What do you expect for him as a pro?
I believe, Carrie and gentlemen, Johnny Manziel will be a star in the National Football League. I believe he got even better this year than he was a year ago. When I remind you, in 2 fewer games, he broke Cam Newton's single-season Southeastern Conference total yardage record. And I was not surprised that our Todd McShay had him going 4th in his first mock draft to Jacksonville, as high as 4th in the draft. I know there's been a lot of criticism of him lately. I won't be surprised if he goes higher than 4th when all is said and done in the draft process. Johnny got better this year as a pocket passer, and I didn't see all that much pocket passing a year ago. I'm talking about improved velocity, improved accuracy, improved overall football IQ. I still see rare quickness and downfield speed for the quarterback position, and I see rare playmaking ability. Just he has a charisma about him, an it factor, a sense, just an instinct to make the play at the moment. And he was constantly trying to overcome one of the worst defenses in college football. He did struggle at LSU, I give you that, but that was hurricane force wind on a field that was absolutely soaked to the point of just being a mud bog. And he wasn't great in the final game at Missouri, and he did play hurt in that game with a bad thumb on his throwing hand and an injured ankle. Does that mean he's going to get beat up in the NFL? I don't think so. I think he's a durable kid because he's built sturdily. So I'm seeing Stephen A. Smith, franchise quarterback.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I agree with the fact that he has improved. I think he's the most exciting player in college football with the close second, Winston. My problem is that I believe his size will matter in the National Football League. I think even though, Michael Vick and Russell Wilson are about the same size, a little shorter actually, they're very compact. The fact that he likes to play out of the pocket, that he likes to improvise, is going to be a problem because defenses in the NFL won't react the same way as college defensive linemen. And I think one thing that's very telling about this whole situation is the fact that he said himself that if he were to be projected outside the first round, he would go back to college one more year, which I think would be the right decision because he would mature, he would get stronger, and he would be better prepared to enter the draft next year rather than this year.
Well, first of all, I would respond by saying, first things first, be careful about putting limitations on short people. You work with Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful about that. He might not like that because don't get much shorter than him. Anyway, that's point number one.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Wrong.
Yes.
I'm just messing with him. I'm just messing with him. That's my boy. But here's the deal. You got that out the way, right? Seriously speaking, Johnny Manziel, I agree with everything Skip said in terms of high football IQ, velocity, accuracy, all improving. He threw 6 more interceptions this year, but 4 more interceptions. Quarterback rating was about 19 points higher, all right? He threw about 3,500 yards last year. His freshman year, threw about 3,700 yards. Not a big deal. But in the end, what it comes down to me is the it factor. And there's something to be said because when you're talking about that NFL level, and you're talking about that NFL, you've got to want that stage. You've got to want that moment, particularly at the quarterback position. And what I love about Johnny more than anything else, and that's why I agree with Skip, I think he's going to be, I don't know whether superstar is the word, but I definitely think he's going to be a star in the league. He's going to be an impact player in a very positive way on the NFL level because when you're playing that position, you have to have a presence about you. And he has that. He has that in the zest for the bright lights, center stage. I'm not sure that being in college and staying in college helps you, but so much for the NFL. I do think you need it, but I think once people deem you to be ready, then you need to go.
So you think he can stand the punishment that he's about to?
I think he's
because he's playing out of the pocket.
I do believe he's bigger than people give him credit for. That's number one. He is bigger.
6 foot.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, being standing next to him, he's getting thicker. But more importantly than anything else, they constantly tell you that you're really not ready for this level until you get here. And he's the kind of guy that I think sits back, and even though he works on his game, there are limits because there's an extra level he hasn't gone to because he hasn't been required to do it because it is what it is on a collegiate level. And that elevated level of competition, you know what you could do, particularly in the realm of tennis. When you're going up against greatness, that's when greatness comes out of you if you're there.
Yep.
If you've reached a point, if you've plateaued, meaning against a certain level of competition, sometimes you're a bit stagnant.
Yeah. Listen, big picture, Johnny this year took more risks than he needed to your point, because that defense couldn't stop anybody. This kid wants to win football games like a madman. And to me, he put himself in very dangerous positions that in pro football I don't think he can or will, because you're right, he won't last trying to play the way he occasionally did this year, just trying to pull out a game against a very superior opponent.
He's so much smarter than people give him credit for.